fine. Good baby. Yeah. So come here. What a good girl. What a good girl. Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Sally and Conrad's mom. This is Conrad. And we took them on their very first camping trip. We learned a lot of lessons, so I want to share some of my recommendations with you if you would also like to start taking your cat camping. So first of all, to give you a little background information, we have been slowly training Sally and Conrad to be outdoor adventure cats. Sally is progressing a little bit faster than Conrad is. She's a little bit more comfortable on the harness and walking in the park, climbing trees, chasing bugs, things like that. Whereas Conrad will prefer to stay in his backpack or sometimes climb the tree. But we've been regularly working with them since they were about 3 months old, building up to this point. So it's been like 3 months of work. We have taken them in the car, so they've gotten kind of comfortable with being in the car. They're comfortable with being in their harnesses, in their backpacks. All these things are, again, us trying to get them to be great adventure cats. So we decided that they were ready for their first camping trip. We did one overnight and we camped in our friend's camper van. So we didn't do a tent situation or anything like that. We had a van. And there are a number of things that we did right and then some things that we learned from. So let me start with the things that we did right. First of all, we rented a camper van. So we had our camper van, as I said, rather than doing a tent, sleeping in a tent, and this provided a really nice space for the kittens to feel comfortable in. So before we even hit the road, we let them acclimate to the van for about like 45 minutes to an hour. We just sat in the parking lot where they walked around the van, explored all the different areas of the van, sniffed everything, and got really used to it. Another thing that we did right is we picked a campsite that was very close by. So just in case something wasn't going the way we had planned it, we could always come home instead of staying there the night. So it was a campsite that was like right on the beach, about an hour away from us, so not too far. Make sure you pick a pet-friendly campsite. And because it was right on the ocean, we didn't have to worry about it getting too hot at all. There was a nice ocean breeze. So even though it is the end of June, we didn't have to worry about it getting super, super hot and trying to keep the kittens cool. Another thing we did right is we brought a lot of their own things. So not only did I pack ample amounts of food, lots of water for them and water bowls, lots and lots and lots of treats, especially their squeezable liquid treats that they just love so much. But I also brought a lot of their own stuff. So I brought with us a lot of toys, meaning like their springs that they're obsessed with, string that they're obsessed with, their little cardboard scratchy thing. I brought this little ball thing that spins around tracks that they also love to play with. I brought their blankets, I brought beds, I brought, of course, their litter box, and I brought their backpacks, which they are comfortable in. Like even in the house, they like to hang out in them, take naps in them and stuff like that. So as far as lessons that we learned, I'd say the biggest lesson that we learned is that a camper van is a lot noisier and bumpier than a car. So the kittens have been in our car before. However, this was their first time in a camper van, and there were a lot more noises once we started going, and the back of the camper van is a lot bumpier and noisier than the front. So going there, I let Conrad kind of sit wherever I thought he was most comfortable, which he picked his bed, inside his bed on top of the bed in the back. But during the ride, I got up to check on him and realized that it is so much louder and so much bumpier, and he just wasn't moving from there because he just felt safe and was afraid to go anywhere else. So that was a little bit of a mistake on my part. I should have had him in the front. Sally was in the front on my lap. I should have had him in the front as well. So on our way back, driving back, I learned from that mistake and made sure to have both of them in the front. And they actually both preferred to be in the backpack together on my lap. And being on my lap allowed my body to kind of buffer some of the bumps and the noises and stuff. But definitely biggest lesson we learned is to keep the cats in the front and try and keep them, you know, kind of in a secure, safe area. Another thing that we learned is that we didn't get much sleep because once the sun went down, the kittens were already very comfortable in the van and had not really exercised all that much and played all that much during the day. So they spent the night exploring and playing, and every little noise and movement in the van is heard by all in the van. So yeah, be prepared if you are taking your kittens or your cat for the first time camping that you might not get much sleep that night. And another thing we learned, but I was pretty much expecting this to be the case, is that most of the time was spent in and next to the van. So if you plan to go to some really cool campsite with tons of cool hikes and everything, make sure your cat is like down for that. I knew, being that it was going to be our first ever camping adventure, that our kittens were probably not going to be ready for long adventures, long hikes, or anything like that. Seeing as like when I take them for hikes or when I take them for walks, they're usually pretty short duration. So most of the time that we were there, we spent in the van trying to get the kittens nice and comfortable, and then next to the van where Sally was able to explore and Conrad was able to sit in the van and watch Sally exploring. We did do a little bit of walking around the campsite once they both seemed comfortable enough, but in their backpacks, and that was just a nice little 20-minute loop around the campsites. So my recommendations, if you are wanting to take your cat camping for the very first time, first of all, ask yourself, is your cat ready for this? Is your cat harness trained? Does your cat go on walks with you? Is your cat comfortable outside or at least in a backpack? Has your cat been in a car before? How do they deal with being in a car? Ask yourself all these things before actually deciding to take the full plunge and take them on a camping trip. If your cat's ready, if you're ready, then I would definitely recommend renting a camper van at first. Make sure it's a camper van that's pet friendly. The camper van was a better choice because it just felt like they kind of had a mini home that they could acclimate to better than a tent. I would also rather spend more time in and next to a camper van than in a tent. Pick a campsite that is close by. Like I said, we picked one that was about an hour away from us, just in case you need to head back home. We even considered just renting the camper van and sleeping in the parking lot with the camper van. So that is also an option if you want to see how your cat adjusts to just being in a camper van. You could take it for a loop around the block and come right back into the parking lot. Make sure to pack ample amounts of food and water, lots and lots of treats, like a lot of treats. Try to positively reinforce what's happening, make positive associations with what's happening. Make sure to pack litter and a litter box. By the way, we had the litter box set up in the back of the van. So there was a nice storage area in the back of the van for the litter box. It was under the bed. The kittens could get to it, and we could get to it by opening up the back and scooping everything out. Definitely make sure to pack the cat's backpack, the harnesses, leash. And if you're somewhere that it kind of gets warm, I would definitely make sure to pack cooling blankets. So we have some cooling blankets that we just got off of Amazon. Those are really helpful for like middle of the day We also had the AC running in the middle of the day just to make sure that no one got too hot. And like I said, we were at a beachside campsite, so there was a nice ocean breeze too. You definitely don't want your cat to be stressed out and hot at the same time. That's, yeah, not great. As I mentioned already, make sure to have your cat up front with you as you're driving, and take it slow. So spend a lot of time letting them get adjusted to the van, get adjusted to the van running. Yeah, just take it slow, make sure you're going at their pace. The little outdoorsy things that Sally and Conrad have, these are the harnesses that they have. They have their names on them. These I got off Amazon, but they're really secure and really great. It's the Miwo. Yeah, so I would recommend these. They're adjustable. This is the extra small size. Sally is 7 pounds, Conrad is 9 pounds, and yeah, these fit them both and still have some wiggle room for them. As far as leashes go, I would definitely recommend getting an extendable leash. Again, I got this off of Amazon, and this has been really, really great. So Conrad, he doesn't really explore very much, but Sally really likes to explore, and having a fixed leash is kind of annoying. As long as you have a harness that's pretty secure, you don't have to be worried about being super, super close to them. So this extendable leash is really nice, and it's super lightweight, so it doesn't seem like it holds Sally back at all from her exploring. And then for backpacks, I would recommend this one that we have. I got it off of Chewy. I'm sure it's available on Amazon. It's Just Pet. It has, yeah, front door, top door. It's completely collapsible too. Some little side panels and side pockets. But this can get a little bit warm if it's the middle of the day. So that's where the cooling blankets definitely come in. So I will toss a cooling blanket in here, and that'll help them, you know, stay cool. I normally wear this on my front. So I normally have this strapped to my front, so the kittens are right here. But I got this for longer hikes eventually. You know, it's got a waist strap right here and a chest strap as well. So it seems like if you want to do much longer hikes, this would be a great backpack to have. And it's really comfortable and it's sturdy. Like when you put it on, this doesn't sag or anything like that. It's very sturdy. And I will put, for some walks when it's just me, I will put both of them in one backpack and it holds up. All right guys, so that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions at all. Are you thinking about taking your cat on a camping trip or trying to get your cat into outdoor adventuring? Hopefully I'll be able to answer your questions. And this YouTube channel is all about Sally and Conrad and their outdoor adventuring journey. So stay tuned.